Hey you guys, welcome back to Fya's Kitchen. And on this episode, we will be making some homemade Hennessy apple pie. First things first, let's go ahead and get started by peeling those green Granny Smith apples and putting them in a pot of water with just a dash of apple cider vinegar, just to keep the apples from browning. You know, brown is good, but we don't want the apples to get brown. We want them to stay nice and crisp and light skin until we start to add the brown ourselves, okay? And make sure y'all are using a sharp knife. Don't do like me at home and get the brokest knife in the jar, okay? Because it can be very dangerous. So right after you get those Granny Smiths peeled all up, I use about 7 apples for my pie. You want to go ahead and start to core them. So first I slice them in half one way and then quarter them the next way, and then I go ahead and take out the core in the middle so we don't have any seeds, okay? We love us a seed, but we don't want none in our pie now, y'all. So you go ahead and do that for each apple, making sure you put the apples back in your water apple cider vinegar mixture so your apples can stay nice and crispy. We do not want any brown apples, okay? So right after you finish coring the apples, you want to go ahead and slice each apple into thick or thin slices. It's whatever you like to do. To each his own. Okay, now that we're done with the slicing, we want to go ahead and get this pot prepped for our wet mixture for the inside of that pie, y'all. This is where the fun part began. So first you want to go ahead and start with you a half a stick of unsalted butter. Yes, I said butter because butter makes everything better. If you're a vegan, you can go ahead with the non-vegan option, either olive oil or grapeseed oil. Either one works. But in this case, we're using butter. After the butter is nice and melted on a low medium heat, we're going to go ahead and add a cup of sugar, or as much sugar as you like. You know, y'all know I don't do any measuring. I just go until the ancestor says stop, okay? Once we get that brown sugar in there, we're going to go ahead and stir it up real good on that low heat till they get nice and sticky. Y'all see that bubble? As it's bubbling up, I'm going to go ahead and add a shot, or just a little bit less than a shot of my white Hennessy into that mixture. Yep. It's not going to be as strong as y'all think, okay? So don't think you're going to get pie wasted. It's good for the kids. The kids can drink it too. I mean, eat it too. My bad. Then I went on ahead and added a teaspoon of vanilla extract. Stir that on in there. We're also going to add just, I'm going to say a half a cup of flour. Just enough to thicken up the mixture. I added more sugar because I felt like I needed some more. After you add your flour, you're going to stir that up for about a minute. And then you're going to turn around and add your freshly crisp apples. Yum, yum. Make sure those apples are nice and dry. You don't want any wet apples in there. So make sure you take a paper towel and dry those bad boys off. And toss them in there like a bad salad, okay? Toss them one in there and make sure you're stirring them accordingly. After that, you're going to add your cinnamon as much as you like. Add a little bit of nutmeg. And in this case, I added a little bit of ginger. Because I'm a ginger girl. I'm a ginger girl. And we're going to stir it up. We're going to stir that thing. Make sure all of the apples are nicely coated. Make sure it's nice and coated. We want it looking like brown sugar, babe. I get high on your love, don't know how to behave. Okay, so as y'all see, that mixture is getting nice and thick. It's thickening up, and we're getting ready to cut that pot off. and bring it on over to the pie dish, baby. Now that we're over at our pie dish, we're gonna go ahead and take our Pillsbury dough pie crust and line it to the bottom of that dish, nice and slow. Make sure you're taking your time because you don't want to break that fold. You don't want to mess up that form, okay? So just take your time, pressing it into the corners very neatly. And once you've done that, you want to go ahead and grab your pie mixture and pour that bad boy on in there. Yep. You're going to pour that boy in there with all that love. And you're going to spread it like it's some whipped cream on some ice cream on a nice hot summer day. Okay. And at this point, you can add more cinnamon or, just whatever flavors you like, to each his own. Just make sure you spread that boy out. Make sure the apples are nice and evenly and flat, because now we're going to go ahead and take the second pie crust, unroll it nice and neat, take your time, and then lay it flat on top. And then we're going to mold that to the apple pan. Yep. Once you're done doing that very carefully, you're going to go ahead and grab your fork, and we're going to make those edges pretty. Okay? Just like y'all swoop them edges, we're going to get these edges pretty on this pie. Same way. Take your knife, give it nice slits to make it look nice and professional. And then you're going to go ahead and throw this pie in the oven at 350 for about 30 to 45 minutes, give or take. And when she's all done, you'll see she'll be bubbling up and nice and brown like me. And you can go ahead and share it with your family. Don't forget to add you some butter pecan ice cream on top for extra sweetness and goodness. And that's my Hennessy pie. All right, talk to y'all later.